Hey up guys, what's going on and welcome back to York City for the final time as we about to embark on the Club World Championship adventure. Don't worry, you've not missed an episode. The FA Cup final and the Champions League final have been done, have been recorded without sound. Somehow. Don't know how it's happened. I did check during the episode whilst it was recording that the sound was working. And don't worry, I've just done a quick test to make sure this one is working. We should be fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them in the description, just the gameplay of the games itself, unlisted. If you want to see what actually happened, I will obviously spoil the results after this. If you want to watch that gameplay, go watch it now, because I'm going to tell you what happened. Well, the answer is our very good season finished in a very good fashion. 2-0 FA Cup over Leeds. Godoy and Gonzalez still fighting out for that top goal scorer list in our own squad. And Bayern Munich were two classics. I'm actually going to show you one of the goals for this one. They got a late consolation, what turned out to be consolation, and a momentary moment of panic for me. But I'm going to show you Ivan Seri's goal here. There's Seri, there's a free kick, there's the goal. Straight in, from that angle, great goal. Just in case he doesn't do anything like that in the Club World Championship, I thought I'd show you the little bit of Seri magic there. Carpentier's goal, by the way, came from a throw-in, so the two classics, really. Just missing the Azarta corner. And because the Club World Championship goes beyond the point in which it resets the season, I suspect these stats will get reset during the Club World Championship, which is a bit awkward. So just in case they do, here's how the season has gone in our final season before the Club World Championship starts. Obviously, anything that happens during it, we can tack on in our own heads mentally. But the top performers this year that played a significant amount of games: Carpentier, unsurprising, 30 goals, 11 assists. That's gone under the radar in the 43 starts. Yuchenko on the right hand side. I said he's been in the squad on form. He had 18 starts in the end, 10 goals, 8 assists. Quite a ridiculous haul, considering he is technically worse than Cantoro, who, by the way, just became an English citizen to help foreign player limits. Thank you, Cantoro. A little bit late. Azarta in the back line, Saxton a left back. Not a lot separating him and Kovalev, admittedly, in terms of average rating. Kovalev was 6 assists, despite the fact he's not very good at the throw-ins. Obviously, a lot of Saxton's assists are from throw-ins, so not bad there. Harvey good in his appearances, only played against weaker sides, so that's a little bit inflated. Washington, similar thing, really, I suppose. Vidal, Seri, very solid. Godoy, Grimes, Broyle, all up there. Teco, Gonzalez. I mean, everyone's up here, let's be honest. Moreno, 45 starts, 7.19, just learned to speak English, which I apparently can't. And when your lowest rated player, outfield player, is your goalkeeper, you know you've had a sensational season, by the way. That is the sign of a sensational season. The only player worse than a 7, the only players worse than a 7 are both the goalkeepers. 58 appearances for Christian and 31 clean sheets. He did break the record, by the way. That came through a couple of days ago in game. So he did break that record. Worth noting, the player from Rangers has come in, by the way. Not that really matters. He's okay. He's just here to be sold on, really. Future-proofing, that one. Bring him on a free, sell him on for money at some point, is what I'm hoping the AI does. So, Club World Championship. What we need to do here is, what we're going to do is we're just going to skim through these group games because they should be like the World Cup, straightforward. The good news is we do get a hefty amount of subs, though, for these. I'm not sure why people are tired. Oh, there were international games, I suppose, so that might have been what it is. That's why people are tired. So, essentially, I've just selected my fittest 11 at this point. Oh, they've got Jonathan David. And Neto. Or is Pedro Neto only 33? But yeah, fittest 11 on the pitch, essentially. Should be enough for Shanghai. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring you the result unless there's anything dramatic that happens. Well, it wasn't pretty, but it was a 2-1 victory. They did score early on, but I figured it was early on enough. It was the first shot of the game, in fact. I figured we'd have enough in the locker to turn it around in the long run, and, well, we did. Their goalkeeper made 18 saves, so welcome to the new world record. Fed up with this nonsense. Oh, in terms of the goals thing, Carpentier has 30. I didn't really go into that in depth in the squad thing, but Carpentier has 30, Gonzalez is 29, and Godoy had 27, but is now on 29 as well. Which, if I pop it on here, there we are. Yuchenko is actually the fourth highest goal scorer, despite only playing 18 starts. Actually, minutes per goal. Yeah, minutes per goal, he's only behind the three big hitters as well, and Jamie Harvey, who only played against weaker opposition. Considering Dahl had an extended run in the Premier League against top clubs, that's not a bad return from the young lad. Tottenham doing what we should have done there. 14, good God. I also realised that we weren't training anything, by the way. That's been fixed. Good God. Botafogo just beating Liverpool. Didn't see that one coming. We're finally at our second game, by the way, after what feels like an age. Al Sadd dispatched by Tottenham. So Tottenham through. Al Sadd still managed by Xavi, by the way. I'm trying to remember what was in the now silent previous episode that I need to recover. There's something I need to cover later on. Why are you not fitter? The good news is we do obviously put we were the team in the first and second fixture, so we do get the third one off. What? How are you this tired? I literally gave you a recovery session and a rest session. More importantly, how are my backups not fitter? Well, the lineup kind of has to be this thing. My only consolation is I presume this issue affects all the squads. Nope, apparently not. They're fine. We've scored earlier though, and that should hopefully set us on our way. See you for the result. Accidentally clicked off at the end of the match, but a nice easy 4-0 victory there. 2 goals in both halves. Hopefully we'll be less tired for the next one. We've drawn Botafogo, by the way, so we would have played Liverpool had they won. So we've entered the business end of this Club World Championship, and it's weird to feel like that any of these matches could be my last one in charge of York. Looks like this side of things, they've got some fairly hefty matchups, including one between our European rivals, AC Milan and Bayern Munich. The two teams to have knocked us out of the Champions League historically. Man United deal with Chelsea, and Bayern Munich deal with Milan. The championship is happening in France, just to let you guys know, but I don't think PSG are involved, weirdly. A lot of English representation, only Liverpool fell, seemingly, to Botafogo. Tottenham have got the other Brazilian side left in it. And just before we delve into this match, I just need to highlight one more trophy we managed to win in this season. And it's one you didn't see us win because, well, another one you didn't see us win, thanks to the last episode. But our under-23s did win the Leasing.com trophy in quite some style, quite frankly. Chesterfield were dispatched 8-0 in the group stages. 8-0. The final, though, was against Swansea, who seemed to have slipped to League One. Sorry, Swansea fans. 6-2. Our under-23s beat Swansea 6-2. Our under-23s are quite something. Like, the future is good at York, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens sim-wise. Which of these players come through the squad? Obviously, players like Washington have come through the squad already, but were available for that. I mean, Christophe Broyle played that. Only on a 6.7, came off the bench seemingly. His star rating's gone down, irritatingly, but he is amongst those players ready to play in the starting lineup. But yeah, it was the one trophy we didn't get on the way through, was that we had 3 chances at it. We got to the final in one of them. We lost it to Arsenal. It's under-23s. But our under-23s have done the job, just on automatic in the background, on this final year. Nope, we're still tired. What is going on here? Why are my players not resting? I even put in extra rest sessions this time round. I made sure the day before and the day after were completely training free. What is going on here? Teko and Vidal are going to play in the midfield, despite neither of them being natural in those positions. The most baffling part of this is the players who didn't even play the last game are still tired. How are you not any fitter? Well, we're just going to have to do it, aren't we, frankly? Christian goal, Saxon Moreno, Washington, Shaonan on the right, Teko and Vidal in the middle. Yeah, Ramirez, Cantoro, Gonzalez and Gundoy. We're not going to go attacking because we don't have the legs for it. What is happening? I mean, what a way to end the series. What a way to end the series. We're probably just going to lose one of these matches just by virtue of being dead. I'm doing it in 3D, though, just to... How are they completely fit? I'm going to take all the training out. I'm just going to make sure there's no training whatsoever. Or make it just like entirely recovery or something. I don't know. I don't know what to do. The problem is next week training starts normally anyway because of pre-season. Gonzalez has scored, though. It's his first goal of the season. That's reset. Dear Sports Interactive, can we fix this, please? FM21, fix the Club World Championship. Number 1, make sure it counts towards one season or the other, not half in each. Number 2, whatever this situation is on the right-hand side with the fitness, whatever this is going on, can we make sure that is fixed? I mean, they're coming forward now. They'll probably just run straight through us because we don't have legs. That is a great save by Christian. All right, continues. I've got 2 players called Henrique, and that's confusing me. I would demand more, but I'm not entirely certain my players have it. My players are sub 70% conditioning before the second half's even started. Shaonan's looking exhausted out there. They're all looking exhausted out there. Thanks, assistant manager, for that notification. Washington looks relaxed. Don't know how. Probably in agony. Problem is, there's not really much I can do about it. There's no one I can bring on to help the situation. Shaon right back is 64%. His replacement is Fiore, who's on 76. Oh, they've got one in. Somehow, it's sneaked in. At a corner of all things as well. The one thing we're supposed to be good at. Who's missed the header as well there? Who's number 6? Is that Teko? I think Teko's number 6, despite the fact he never plays. How is Vidal on the same fitness levels as everyone else? He started with 90. Fiore's going to have to come on. There's not a lot I can do there. I mean, left back's in exactly the same situation as well. I'm going to have to freshen both of those up a little bit. Cantoro and Ramirez are broken as well as human beings. We've actually not had a shot on target this entire second half. What? We've got players on 50%, for God's sake. I'm actually going to make a defensive change. I'm going to have to get Washington off. I need humans in that defensive line that can move. And Washington couldn't anymore. Like, if my players could just stand in the box for the time being, and we just hoof it to them. Nice pressing going on here, though. A little bit higher up the pitch from the defensive line playmaker there, but we've got through. Godoy somehow keeps pace and scores. I'm not sure how he's outpaced the defender there. Bizarre 1-2 is going on between those two players there, but the fact he managed to keep ahead there is the goalkeeper's done a dive after the ball's gone in. It is only 3 subs in regular time, isn't it still? Yeah, seemingly. I mean, we've done it. I'm not sure how. I'm going to tell him it's a let-off, but I'm just glad we've got it. So the semi-finals in 3 days' time, problematically. I mean, Tottenham have ballsed it as well. And now we get Flamengo. Thank you for getting the 2 Brazilian teams that actually know what the abbreviation is for, by the way. I appreciate that. It's Sep Palmeiras. That one's just come through in my head. Botafogo and Flamengo are the 2 where the initials are just the first letters. Oh, Grayso's gone to Liverpool from Atalanta, just a year after going to Atalanta. I mean, he's still not great. We sold him for 38 million with a year left on his contract. We'll take it. 46 to Liverpool. I'm not too mad that only a year later they've sold him for 8 million more. That's acceptable. Oh, actually reached 800 matches. I mean, we may be favourites for this, but I imagine so will Tottenham. I also have no idea how fit my players are. So Man United are Bayern. Oh, it's Bayern Munich again. If we get past Flamengo, it's Bayern Munich again. Okay, well, you get to... I'm not too mad about missing out on the Champions League final now if Bayern Munich got to the final of this as well. What are the chances? I've not seen the fitness situation. Oh, it's actually okay now. So just straight up rest is what they need. So you can't do any training like it's a normal season. That's dumb. Well, that's good to know then. That's good to know. Just setting off for actual rest is okay. Both fullbacks are 1 yellow. Do they get wiped? That's a good point. Do they get wiped? Doesn't say. Doesn't say they get wiped. But at the same time, yeah, that seems sensible to me. Christian in goal, Saxton, Moreno and Rick, who's gotten over himself. Fiore, Grimes and Seri in the middle. But Dawson's got a yellow card and I just don't want to risk it. Carpentier, Yachenko, Godoy and Gonzalez. I think once we started winning things, the overall morale of the team kind of pulled Rick out of his funk. Also a good talking to by Azata, who seems to have just become an absolute boss at dealing with these situations now. Start of the year, he couldn't solve anything at all. Last few months, anyone who's come to me with any problem, I've just said Azata on them, and he's fixed everything. He's the new Smallwood. And there's a name for the past that you weren't expecting to hear. That reminds me, in terms of the plans post thing, so I am going to do probably 2 or 3 simulation York things and see how they get on without me. And then I'm probably also going to do a sort of a best/favourite 11, because obviously my best and favourite are going to be very separate things. We've got a highlight from kickoff here though, because my favourites obviously include players from a lot lower down, namely one fairly major player that you can probably expect to be in that favourite 11. Probably isn't good enough to be in the best 11. Might also consider a best asterisk 11 in the sense that the best for the level they were playing at. But that is essentially just the favourite 11, I suppose. Moreno, Grimes, Seri. Oh, God. Great ball to Saxton there. Saxton's bumped it in. Godoy. It's gone in. It's gone in as the main part there. What was an entire minute of highlight has finally culminated in a Yachenko goal. And just note yourself, make sure I put the players on rest after this. It's a great save by Max. I think John Max might still be at Milan. If they could sign Max as well, I'm pretty certain there's a central defender just called Max. There is a situation somewhere, if someone had the money and the just wherewithal to do it, they could have a defensive trio of Max in goal, Max in the back line and John Max as we go close a minute later. Oh good, we've got through a minute without a highlight. We might be alright now. One of their players is very tired. Good safe hands from Christian there, and I suspect there's more to this. As Carpentier runs, no he doesn't, gives it Godoy, who inexplicably goes wider. Great block. What a weird first touch from Godoy there though. Oh, this is actually continuing to our end of the pitch. As Rick cleanly gets that ball, and that should end that highlight, I imagine. Although it does immediately resume. Worrying. That's gonna get intercepted. Accepted, and he said there. Intercepted. As the 2 strikers pull away the 2 defenders, and Carpentier just gets to run straight through by himself and score. What a bloody goal! He's run from his own half. I mean, he's 30 yards out from our goal when he starts this. You just notice the 2 strikers there pull away the 2 central defenders. Love that. Love that distraction play. The goalkeeper's very dramatically leapt after it. Nothing he could do, though. And I'm really hoping the sound is working. As our deep line playmaker picks up a booking, which is exactly where Vidarson would have played had he started. They're different players, but starting to feel a little bit vindicated not putting Vidarson on this pitch. It's 2-0 without him, and the player who's playing in his position is booked. There's a lot of pressure high up their pitch right now. As Yurchenko nicks that, Gonzalez rounds the defender, pumps one in the box himself. It's headed clear to Carpentier on this side, who Rabonas it back across to Yurchenko. I was about to say, where was this? But then I remembered our players were exhausted the last 2 matches, so... Yeah, that's definitely Rabona. Just homed in on that right there, just to make sure. We're rubbing it in now. Does beg the question what on earth Tottenham are doing, as Rigg picks up a yellow card, bearing in mind that Washington and Azata are both on warnings themselves. Phil Vindicator started him now. Yeah, keep it up, lads. Keep it going. Whatever. 3-0. Off we go. So it does look like we may be setting up a final with Bayern Munich once again, for the second time in a month. And our highlight starts with us building from the back once more. Grimes plays it behind Saxton there a bit foolishly. They've got the possession. I mean, Batata's just running into Saxton here. I'm very glad he got the ball there, because that was a stupid amount of baiting from their player. They were essentially within one another. Godoy, Saxton back on this left-hand side once more, and look at the numbers in the box there. They're falling over each other to score. Literally. I don't know what it is about this year, but we do seem to be having somewhat comfortable runs to finals. And mentally, we've kind of got to add these goals to the previous tally. I think Carpentier is still ahead. Because he started this tournament on 30 for the season, and he scored 1 now, and I'm pretty certain he scored 1 earlier in the tournament as well, so I think he's on 32. Meanwhile, Godoy has climbed, I would argue, to 31 at this point. 15 minutes to go. I'll probably say it's tiredness rather than bookings that we want to preserve here. Cantoro isn't booked, that's fine. Broyle isn't booked, that's fine. Kovalev can come on a little bit later on, I think. Oh dear me, that's a rash challenge. Straight off, that's the quickest I've ever seen a red card be brandished. Possibly because the referee was a lot nearer to him. Yep, Kovalev is described as an elite fullback. What's quite amusing is Diego Bean does actually turn up before the final. Can't register him, but he does turn up before the final. That's a 4-0, there we are. Weirdly the most comfortable of the matches so far. 2 goals for Yurchenko. He scored earlier in the tournament, so I think that's technically 13 for the season now. Oh, he was on a hat-trick and I took him off. Oh, you fool. No, I'm not doing this again, so make sure everyone's rested. Although, in case you're wondering why I think Diego Bean was a worthy signing, despite the fact that I'm never going to use him. Free transfer. I do worry for Shaunan and Maluso. Maluso's got potential, mind. And if you're wondering why I signed Jamie Harvey, despite the fact that I'm never really going to play him, because I'm 49. Bought him for 8. I will never understand this, by the way. Strange things happen in the German and French leagues with quality players. So there we have it. Historic Club World Championship final for us. The first one in our 111-year history. Bayern Munich looking to get their second. In fact, the holders are Atletico Madrid, who have been 5th in the past 2 seasons. Absolutely crazy. These only roll around every 4 years, and they were at their peak at that point. Manchester United squeak 3rd after a comeback from Flamengo. Good job from them. So as I see it, this is our best 11, and they're all ready and waiting, and the rest did them all wonders, thankfully. So we're all fighting fit for this. The entire outfield team sharp as well, which is good, without any training. Christian, Saxton, Moena, Azata, Fiore, Vidarson and Seri, Carpentier and Yurchenko, I think is just more consistently good than Cantoro, Godoy and Gonzalez. So we're at the Group Armour Stadium, Lyon Stadium, which has held quite a lot of our matches, I feel like. Odd choice for the final. You would have thought it would have been PSG's. Whew. It suddenly just hit me that this is the last match. The last match. And it's all our old friends, the team that knocked us out of the Champions League. I'm fairly certain they did. We got through the group stages. We met Bayern Munich in the knockout round and we got knocked out by them. I'm pretty certain that's how it went. Because I feel like it went like that on both my Southampton save and this one. That said, they've hoofed it up the pitch in Bracker. I presume that is on the end of this. Yeah, go wide. Held my breath there. Bracker is such a good player. If we didn't have 90,000 strikers he would have been the one we'd gone for. Because he wasn't affordable is the only reason why we didn't go for him. Unlike players like Jamie Harvey, who aren't really sensational, but definitely profit-making. Bracker wasn't really profit-making or going to improve the players that we already had. Which is a shame, because he's one of those players I really, really, really want, just on paper. It was always a replacement option in case we lost any of ours, I suppose. Prieto's somehow... Well, hang on, defensively, what's happened here? One of our... Who took the penalty? Corner. Fiore took the corner for some reason. Why did Fiore take that? Sorry if that was quite over the actual goal there. Fiore took the corner. What? Should we find out? How bizarre. Apparently none of the starting corner takers were on the pitch. I guess Cantoro normally does it. Christian, I don't know what you've done there, friend, but you've just about got away with it. Hello, there's been just a foul, I don't think. Nothing more than that. What? I thought we were about to get a bit of Seri magic or something. No. Just baiting me with fake highlights now. Shout out to Martin Ingley, by the way. I did talk about him in the now silent Champions League final, but of course we had him on loan at one point in the Championship, so nice to see him again. He's been at Bayern Munich for quite a while now. In fact, both of our left-backs we loaned whilst in the Championship have been a part of this Club World Championship. Obviously, Ingley here at Bayern Munich and Davila is still at Liverpool where he came from. Godoy, it's equalised! Yes, man! Oh, right, we needed that just before half-time. It's been a fairly quiet game, really, as the English side and the German side fighting out on the soil of France. That was weirdly poetic, I just realised. Godoy, lovely, lovely little header there. And that, I think, equalises him for goals for the season, technically. I think that's technically his 32nd. Gonzalez hasn't added to his tally here. So he's still on 30, I want to say. Technically. Because we don't know anymore because it's ticked over now. Saxton in space. I love that overlap. Just always there, just lurking. And Yurchenko nearly goes close again. That happens a lot. You never see it. You never see it the other way around with Carpentier, really. Despite the number of goals he scored, very few of them are like that. Whereas Yurchenko's are pretty much all that. I just don't know if it's our right back's not quite as good going forward as Saxton is, or Kovalev when he plays. He should be, but just for some reason, you never really see Fiore with the assists. He says with Fiore with an assist right now. I might as well not bother speaking. It might be because the right striker is slightly deeper, so Yurchenko gets in that space, whereas crosses from the right end up at Godoy rather than Carpentier normally. Perhaps that's what it is, as Fiore comes forward again and nearly gets a second assist. Godoy over though. 20 minutes to go. Who changes this game? Well, Yurchenko actually has been pretty average, but he's a really good penalty taker. I don't think we factor that in. He's been a bit rubbish. Off he comes. And actually, if I'm honest, he's the only one. Like on paper, Cantoro's a much better player. In the key bits, I just noticed they've made 2 changes. Their right back is a bit tired. So unless they change him, I mean, both their fullbacks are quite tired. Gonzalez has been somewhat absent again. He's been absent all tournament, which is concerning. Ramirez on for the last few, and injury time if that comes to it. But Saxton does have a long throw, and it'd be so poetic if this ended with a long throw goal. I do hope we've got the players back for this. Boccolini is going to round Moreno, I think that is. No, what has happened there? Defensively, what has just happened here? I was feeling fairly comfortable by this. But Moreno goes through Moreno, goes through Fiore, literally. How has that just happened? Anything at all? What? 180 episodes and this is how it ends. At least narratively, it makes more sense for me to leave the club now. That's the only silver lining to that. Well, it wasn't FMing really, because they did have the better of the game, but 91st minute feels like an FMing. I tell a lie. We got past Bayern Munich. I did think I saw, as I clicked through, that we were unbeaten against them, and it just asked me the question about being unbeaten against Bayern Munich. They didn't knock us out. That happened on the Southampton. We drew Bayern Munich just like it happened on Southampton, but we actually got past them here. It was Tottenham who knocked us out of that. I remember that Tottenham knocked us out of the Europa League as well. But they were our first knockout opponents, Champions League-wise. Oh, that was the first time we lost to Bayern Munich. In the end, we were theirs. We were their bogey team. It's the poetic finish for them. Look at that run, by the way, on that year. That was 5 years ago. Because the end of season stuff actually happened after the Champions League, that's all gone now, historically. I forgot to really do anything with that at the start of this video, so that's all gone off my inbox. The only notable inclusion on this in the first 11 was Saxton finally ends up in left back, starting, and a few people joined the bench. I think it's Godoy, perhaps Vidalson, and Christian joined the bench, I'm pretty certain. The rest of them were already on the bench beforehand. Odd that Rick ends up in the final 11, by the way, rather than Azata. Obviously, there's a few players in this I would disagree with as being our best 11, but that's a video yet to come. Oh, it's really weird to try and do an ending speech. I've never had to do one before, thanks to the digital calamity that was the Bradford save in the end. I can't fault the Lance this year. I can't I mean, I call them the lads as if they're real, but I can't fault the lads at all. It's been a ridiculous year this final year. 105 points in the Premier League. 34 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss. Everton, for God's sake. So whilst it isn't perfect, of course, Club World Championship losing to Everton, would I prefer 105 points or would I prefer Invincible? Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, well, you can't really be too mad, can you? 389 appearances for Xiaonan. I've just read that there. That's a lot. And you've seen quite a lot of them. 10 years he's been here. Testimonial's probably not far off. James Grice has made 282. And he joined once we were in the Premier League. By the way, there's one thing I realised. Before I started this. This is episode 180. I did the Story So Far video after we got promoted to the Premier League. That was episode 90. Pretty much exactly halfway. I couldn't have planned that any better. Like losing an episode Wednesday. Losing Wednesday's episode weirdly made that a lot neater. So silver linings on that front as well. I'm just looking at this 11. The fact that Madeira makes it with a 6.99 is absurd, quite frankly. I mean, one man stands out still though. One man there, 7.38. Only really challenged by Seri, 7.36. Alongside him. Absolute stalwarts of the team. One prior to the Premier League, one after the Premier League. It got to be said, one was the natural successor to the other. And I'll probably give you spoilers right now. Those two are definitely the two that will make my actual favourite 11. And, well, Seri definitely makes my best 11 as well. That's one spoiler. I mean, it's not unsurprising, those two. Oh, man. I can't say goodbye to them, but I'm going to have to. I'm going to process it a day and see if anything does come through, and then I'll retire. I mean, that's the kick in the teeth. Godoy gets the best player. The only one who makes it, weirdly, just by the fact we got to a final. How did all these... What? How did 3 Tottenham players get it? They made the quarterfinals, for God's sake. 14 goals. Velasquez. I've just noticed Velasquez. Yeah, they scored 14 goals, in fairness, in one of the matches in the group stage, which is probably skewing things a little bit here. Velasquez made it. Unbelievable. So it doesn't look like there's a breakdown like there is in the Champions League for the Club World Championship of individual positions. So that looks like that's the last piece of news. So I've made a save copy in case I want to continue on a stream, but do I wish to resign? No, I don't. But yes. Of course, I've also got to do it from England as well. Just a quick look and see who might take over. Gallardo. Klopp might do it. Coudet at Porto. 8 league titles, 4 Premier Leagues, 12 cup competitions. I mean, they're all here, really. 2 Champions Leagues, 4 Premier Leagues, 1 Euro Cup, 1 Super Cup, 3 FA Cups, 2 Carabao Cups, 1 League One, 1 Community Shield, 2 League Twos. That wasn't us. 1 Vanarama, 1 Leasing.com trophy. That was my under-23s this year. 3 FA trophies. 1 of them was me. And the Vanarama League North as well. What a journey it's been, folks, but this is the end. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to join me on Twitch when I do get around to playing Toledo again, which I probably will do now a little bit more regularly. And for the next, well, of course, simulation might be the end of my York career, but it's not the end of the York content. A couple of simulations to come and my best/favourite 11s. Thank you for joining me. Until our next adventure. Ta-ra.